Lahoma Vineyard is arguably the most important site for us at Red Newt now. That is true both from a quantity standpoint. It is one of the larger plantings that we bring in. It's also become crucial for several of the wine styles that we like to make.
Yeah. Which range anywhere from our dry Riesling, which is a semi-dry expression, the Circle Riesling as well. And then you also see our cabinet-style Lahoma Vineyard, as well as our kind of top-end, big concentrated, the Knoll Riesling.
So this site is more or less due across the lake from where we're sitting right now, due across the lake from Red Newt, just a little bit south. It's a beautiful site, basically working with sandstone-derived soils. There's a couple of different expressions in there. The key one that we know of is Dunkirk, which is what the Knoll is on. The other sites, or the other blocks within it, do share quite a few similarities, though, and that's why there's kind of a house style to a lot of the Rieslings that come out from Red Newt now. There's a lot of, I would say, orange fruit, a lot of density, a lot of weight, and that really comes from Lahoma.
Yeah, and Lahoma actually is a series of different plantings that we work with. They're planted in 2007, 2008, and 2009 respectively. And each plot is in a slightly different location, slightly different elevation, slightly different soil type. And it's really important that those characteristics are known about, because it really impacts the wines that we get from that. Each picking is kept separately and fermented separately, so each tank has its own personality, and that kind of drives what it wants to be as far as the dry Riesling, the semi-dry, or a big component of Circle with like the big luscious fruit.
Yeah, we often have some ideas the fruit comes in just based on the history of that particular block, what wine it's going to be best suited for, but we are always ready to kind of respond to the moment and change plans in the same way that the grower at Lahoma, Kenny Fulkerson, does a remarkable job kind of tailoring his vineyard management to each of these specific blocks. And kind of as a vineyard that's made up of a series of little rolling hills, each little kind of movement in the land changes what the grapes want to do.
Yeah, but no matter what part of the vineyard you're in, it is absolutely pristine, regardless of the vintage.
The beautiful upkeep at Lahoma Vineyards really came to the fore in the 2018 vintage. 2018 was relatively challenging. That would be a very polite way of putting the conditions of that vintage. It rained more or less nonstop from August through early October, and it was warm and humid every day as well. A really tough combination for grapes. And something that really forced a lot of picks to happen quite a bit earlier in the season than we normally would like to see. Lahoma was the glaring exception, not just for us, but across the entire region. We brought in the Riesling from Lahoma, even for our kind of classic wines, whether dry or Circle, came in about 2 weeks after other people had to pick Riesling, and we had a normal pick date for the Knoll at the end of the harvest.